Hey guys, I am here today with this, the 2022 VW Taos. Please go ahead and push that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Now the Taos is all new for 2022 and it's basically their entry-level crossover SUV. It comes in under $30,000 right beneath the Tiguan. Unlike the Tiguan, it does not have a third row option, but what it does have is a lot of bang for the buck. Let's get into it. One of the great features about the Taos is they've integrated some of the new design language for VW. So you've got the new logo, you've got the integrated LED headlights, you've got the beautiful side intake, like everything in terms of the design, I think they've done an excellent job with, particularly at this price point. One of the things that's odd about this SEL package is that, you know what's not standard? A power liftgate. So yeah, it's kind of weird. There are seat warmers, there are seat coolers, but power liftgate, not so much. It does have a handle. I'm sure you can special order it with the power liftgate, but that's just a little strange. In terms of storage, we've got a pretty large trunk here, and anybody that may drive this, let's say you're a mom with two small kids that live somewhere where parking is tight, this is a wonderful option for you. It's actually a little bit wider than the Tiguan, which is odd, but it gives it that lower center of gravity, which makes it handle really, really well. I don't think this video would be complete if I didn't talk about the elephant in the room. It's the color, right? Okay, it's called cornflower blue, and man, it can divide a room up really, really quickly. When I drove it in my driveway, my husband rolled his eyes and said, "Oh my God, that's blue." And then I drove it to a gas station and some 20-year-old kid said to me, "Dope car, nice color." So, you know, I don't know. I guess it's up to people. You do see this color around a lot right now. It's kind of a hot color. My little note to you is don't drive this color if you might be pulled over by the police, because they'll certainly see you coming if you're speeding. The Taos has a lot of things going for it. The model I'm driving today is the SEL, which is the all-wheel drive version. That is powered by a 1.5 liter inline turbocharged engine, which I really enjoy with one exception. It's got some very serious turbo lag. So let's talk about this turbo lag a little bit. Essentially, with high performance vehicles, you do a twin turbo engine, which means you have a turbocharger that operates at lower RPMs and then another turbocharger that kicks in when you're at higher RPMs. When you just have a single turbo, you don't have that luxury. So in this one, the turbo will kick in when you're at 3,000 RPM, and all of a sudden you'll be like this. So the way around this, if this bugs you, is put it in manual mode. The manual mode with this overrides that, and you're operating. You can drive it at higher RPMs, and you won't have that issue. But if you're someone that drives a lot in mountainous areas or very aggressive driving, let's say in a city application, you may want to test drive this and look at that turbo lag, because for me, it was a little bit of an issue with my aggressive driving. I'm a really big fan of this interior. Sometimes in these crossover SUVs, they just don't get the display right. Sometimes when you've got two screens, it just looks ugly. And when you're trying to keep costs down, sometimes they put in really weird materials. VW, on the other hand, has done a good job here. We've got a leather-wrapped steering wheel. There's plastic up here, but that's okay. I don't mind a plastic dash. Plus, we've got a little compartment up here. They've integrated the display really beautifully and created nice, simple lines. Hooray! One of the things, if you watch my other videos, you know that I am a big proponent of drive modes. You should always use your drive modes, and I'm worried that if you guys go to test drive this car, your car sales guy isn't going to show you the following. So right here next to your shifter, you've got a drive mode selector. You can select snow, which is really great. You can select regular. You can select off-road, and then custom. But, and most of the time for most of us, we're gonna wanna keep it in sort of the regular drive mode. But see this little button here? This allows you to toggle between the normal, sport, custom, and eco. So if you are someone who is an aggressive driver, you're gonna wanna be in sport. You can also customize your own setting, but that is different than the different types of road conditions. I hope that that becomes clear to you guys. So don't miss this little button. It's essential to you really enjoying this car. Another thing I like about the Taos is there are wonderful little compartments. And I know that sounds silly, but it is the sort of thing that can make or break your car. If you don't have the right place to put stuff, it can be really irritating. So we've got the charging pad, which is essential these days. You've got 2 cup holders, the nice center armrest. This is a little change guy here, which I think is weird because no one uses change, but you can also use that for lipstick or whatever. It's got 2 lightning chargers here, but also where there's also I guess what was formerly known as a cigarette lighter here that you can put a regular USB charger in. That goes a long way with someone like me. So one of the things that's great in the Taos is it has IQ Drive, which is what VW is calling their safety suite. So that is dynamic cruise control, lane assist, all of that. One of the issues is with this turbo lag, the dynamic cruise control, the car isn't very aggressive, right? So if you're behind somebody and you're going at lower RPMs, the car has a problem catching up. So, well, it's nice to have those safety features. Sometimes when your engine is underpowered, it can be a little bit of an issue. At the same time, if you've got a teenager and you would like them to be underpowered, well, then I found the car for you. When my 14-year-old daughter got in this car, she looked around and said, "Ooh, this is nice." She loved the interior design. She thought it was fantastic. And then I said, "Oh, you do think it's nice?" And she said, "Why? Is it cheap?" And I said, "Well, it's not very expensive." And she said, "Oh, I can tell." Now, I think she's full of it. I don't think she could tell, but I think she wanted to pretend she could tell. So I'm just saying it has the appearance of being fancier than it actually is, which is a great thing. The back seat in this vehicle is fine. It's certainly not going to win any comfort awards, but what I will say is, again, for that mom with 2 small kids, it's very cleanable, comfortable enough that if you're the parent having to ride in the back seat, you're not going to be miserable. But again, I wouldn't buy this as a real estate agent showing around clients.